Hi everyone, Simon Keeling here. Thanks again for watching weatherweb.net. It's Friday the 22nd of February. Don't forget we're kept free of charge by the adverts you see around the screen here, and by you coming back and using the adverts and using the site, that's what generates the revenue, which means that we can keep the site free of charge. So thank you for doing that. Spectacular satellite picture again this morning across the British Isles. This is from 9 o'clock this morning. You can see how Scotland, northern Scotland, just sticking out of the cloud, but elsewhere across the country, much cloud around, and that's making you feel very cold with the wind underneath. Interesting to see the detail in the cloud as well. Just out here, look, over northwestern England, over western parts of Wales, and over southwestern England too. You see how the cloud goes from being flat out here to having this kind of scalloped effect in it here towards the west. Well, what's happening is the easterly winds are blowing in, and of course we've got fairly flat ground towards the east of the country, but then they hit the mountains, and as that cloud kind of just bounces off the mountains, we get that scalloped effect of the cloud towards the leeward side of the mountains. Amazing to see. Now, the theme for the week has been dry weather, and it looks as if the dry weather is going to continue as well. This is the GFS predicted rainfall totals taking us through to Saturday the 2nd of March, and you can see how we just got between 2 and 5 millimetres generally down these eastern coasts, less as you come inland, and generally dry towards the north and the west, but even the totals off towards the east aren't really up to that much, most of those coming in the form of snow flurries. And across Europe, plenty of dry weather around too, particularly again, so this central section of Europe. Notice how most of the rainfall is down here through the Mediterranean and stretching into the Balkans. Some pretty heavy rain down there. It could be 50, 60, 70 millimetres of rain in places, and some of the holiday destinations affected badly as well. But further north, conditions much drier. And bitterly cold in the wind as well across the country just at the moment, across the UK and across Ireland. But you see here that temperatures, these red colours here mark the temperatures, a slow rise off, then a fall off again into the early part of next week, before we see this slow rise back upwards again into the early part of March. But generally we're staying on the cool side. I think we could see a second hit of cool, particularly early on in the latter part of next week, just into early March. We could see another cool hit with temperatures, daytime temperatures 3 to 5 degrees. And the ECMWF picks up on that, really, this roller coaster look to the temperature graph here, and you see how they pick up into the middle part of next week before falling off here into the latter part of next week and next weekend. And this idea of -10 at 8:50 is really cold for early March, so it is going to feel bitterly cold again, but it doesn't last long, look, with the temperatures soon rising back again. So cool and dry is the emphasis for the week ahead, but this is the Japanese forecast that's just been released for the next month. Just wanted to show you this. This is the forecast for the next week, so from day 2 to day 8, and let's just zoom in on the rainfall forecast here. This takes us forward to next Friday, and notice here, look, the British Isles under here, just notice how we're seeing rainfall figures below normal for the time of year. And this is the pressure forecast for the same period again, and look, these red colours here indicating high pressure and pressure well above normal for the time of year, so that high dominating during the course of this week. Temperature wise, well, it's got temperatures down in sort of the 2 to 3 degrees Celsius below normal category across most of the UK, and those cooler conditions as well affecting much of of Western Europe, which you can see there on the chart too. So cool across much of Europe during the week ahead. On now to days 2 to 9, which takes us through from next Friday the 1st of March through to from Saturday the 2nd of March through to Friday the 8th of March. And again, if we just zoom into rainfall here, you can see how it's starting to pick up on the idea of some damper weather coming through. So it has actually got some rainfall across the country during this period across southern and more eastern areas. Now it's trying to do it on an easterly wind, I think, with low pressure passing towards the south, so hinting at this breakdown taking place sometime within that period, but I suspect probably later in the week, and I think it's probably overdone this somewhat. As far as pressure goes for the same period, again, let's just zoom in to look at how pressure looks, and well, you can see, look how deep it's making low pressure in the Atlantic. Clears off high pressure up towards the north, and it's going to be these lows coming up the channel across northern parts of France that the JMA sees as bringing some more unsettled weather to more southern parts of the country. We need to watch that because that's a change to the forecast if that comes off. So we need to just be aware that that could be happening during this period. As I say, I think it'll be late on. We've got to look after the 5th or the 6th. But this falls in line with the GFS ensemble, which is why I'm not just ignoring it completely. And the temperature forecast for this period is still in the blues, so that's still indicating to us, look here, that temperatures are 1 to 2 degrees below normal, so we stay cool. And finally on to day 16 to 19, so this is going to be taking us forward from the 9th of March through to around the, when are we looking, about the 25th of March. And again, just notice here, look, we're in around normal to just above normal rainfall to the south, and below normal rainfall up towards the north, indicating this again, north-south split with high pressure to the north, lower pressure down to the south. Now, I don't think it'll be that wet, but as I say, I think this is indicating at near normal rainfall totals. I think in the south we're looking at 50 to 70% of normal, with up towards the north probably 10 to 20% of normal during this period. The mean sea level pressure forecast during this period shows lower than normal pressures across the southern half of the UK here, shown by the blue colours here, and above normal up towards the north. Now then, what that would result in is a strong east to northeasterly wind with lower pressure moving up the channel again into the northern parts of France, and that area there probably seeing more unsettled conditions. So it's sort of the south of the country that's always seeing this threat of some rain coming through. These are the cooler, more unsettled conditions coming in, but in many parts of the country, probably the northern 2/3 of the country, stay in much drier conditions. And the temperature forecast for the same period keeps us in blue colours, so again hinting that temperatures stay below normal by about 1 or even 2 degrees, so below normal for the time of year, so these easterly winds dominating once again. So overall then it looks like being fairly cool. Yes, dry weather is certainly the emphasis of things, but always this possibility of some rain affecting more southern areas, and I guess we have to think about that, possibly falling as sleet or even snow flurries, particularly across more eastern and southern areas at times, simply because we're still at a cool time of year. However, for the northern 2/3 of the country, so you'd say from the Midlands northwards, it looks as if probably drier and cooler conditions through until at least the middle part of March. But as I say, what's interesting about this is that the JMA model there is following the idea of the ensemble, gradually bringing some rain into the far south from the back end of the week after next. It'll be interesting to watch, interesting to see how things develop. But once again, thanks for watching weatherweb.net. I'm Simon Keeling, and just a reminder, the site to get free of charge by the adverts you see around the screen here. So once again, thanks for watching, and keep the sun shining. Bye for now.